Hello, my friends. I'm Daniel Talley, the Note to Self guy, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now listen, if this is your first time visiting my channel, don't touch that dial. Why? Because this channel will prove to be a blessing to you. And why is that, you may ask? Because this is a channel where we are always positive, inspiring, entertaining, sometimes funny, sometimes even a little bit corny. But I can promise you, every single time, you hear me? Every single time, there's always a big message. So what are you talking about today, Note to Self guy? Well, today, this is the second part of a three-part series entitled, Don't Sit on Your Blessing. Won't He Do It? Now, in the first part of the series, I talked about how God presented me with a business opportunity that, quite frankly, I had no interest or desire to participate in. But with a little bit of twisting of the arm, God basically told me, hey, buddy, I need for you to do this. And it turned out to be a tremendous blessing. So this is part two of how that blessing that God gave me grew into yet another blessing. You know, I wound up trading in all my business suits for blue jeans and a t-shirt. And I have to tell you, if you had given me a million guesses as to what I would be doing with myself, this would not have been one of them. God's business opportunity is what introduced me into this life of toiletry. In the last episode, I left off talking about poor man's proverb. However, I never really explained what a poor man's proverb was. Well, here's the origin of that.
Man, what did this guy eat? This poop is like semen. Just how to get this stuff out of here?
Okay, Lord. Listen, you know I'm trying to get out of here. I know. Another poor man's proverb. Okay, Lord, let's hear it. Does your brand of Christianity give Jesus a black eye? Now you know what? That's a good one. Now let me see. When Jesus was here, he represented love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Now the question then becomes, if that's what Jesus represented when he was here, as a Christian, that's the same thing that I should be representing. But the question is, have I been doing that? Now, you know, I've been living with myself all my life, and only I can answer that question. Good or bad, you will be an example for someone today. Now, you know what? That's a good one, because if I go out here and I show somebody my behind, essentially what I've done is that I've shown the world what a horse's patootie looks like. Now, the question then becomes, is that really what I want? Probably not. You got one more, Lord? Okay. A blessing is not a one-time event. You know what? Now to think about it, blessings usually come with a posse. When God blesses you with something, usually there's another one following it. Just like when he blessed me with Genesis cleaning services. As a result of Genesis cleaning services, Lord, you began to give me these poor man's proverbs. I get it. It's a blessing stacked on top of another blessing. Lord, are we done? Good, because I'd like to get back to work. I'm ready to get up out of here. So that was the origin of poor man's proverbs. Note to self, poor man's proverbs are basically statements or questions that make you think about your relationship with God. Because at the end of the day, we all need to draw closer to the Lord. It doesn't matter if you're 5 feet away from him or if you're 10,000 miles away from him. The fact of the matter is, we all need to draw closer to him. If you think I'm lying, just watch the news. So as God would give me these poor man's proverbs, what I would do is that I would take them and I would put them on social media. And to my surprise, people would comment and say to me, hey, Daniel, hey, man, look here. I don't know where you're getting this stuff from, bro, but keep it coming because this has really helped me. I really needed to hear this today. But, you know, I was very thankful for them for saying that. But truthfully, I couldn't take any credit for it because God was the one that was giving me these poor man's proverbs. So I was just happy and pleased to have been a vehicle that God was using to get the word out. Psst, if you're enjoying this episode, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Now, God was real serious about these poor man's proverbs. What am I talking about? Well, one day after a long day of work, I pulled into the house, at least my driveway, at about 10:30 p.m. My wife called me and said, hey, honey, where are you? I said, well, I'm in the driveway. I'll be in the house in a minute. As soon as I hung up the phone with her, God began to give me these poor man's proverbs. And he kept giving them to me back to back to back to back. And these things were coming one at a time. So for the next hour, I'm sitting up there writing this stuff down because in the span of an hour, he gave me about 20 of these things. So finally, my wife called me back and she said, where are you at? I said, well, I'm still in the driveway. She says, why are you still in the driveway? What's taking you so long? And I had to explain to her that, well, God was giving me a few poor man's proverbs and I had to write this stuff down. Because quite frankly, if I don't write the stuff down, I won't remember them. So that's why I know that this is God that has given me this stuff. So one day the Lord came to me and he said, Daniel, I want you to take all of these poor man's proverbs and put them in a book. Essentially, he wanted me to write a book. I said, a book? I said, Lord, look here. You do realize that I am a C+, maybe D- student in English. Are you sure you got the right dude for this book? I mean, you can get somebody who is much better at English than I am to write your book. And then I said to him, hey, Lord, look here. To be honest with you, I'm too busy, man. I don't have time to write your book. Why? Because you gave me a business that's, that's growing, that is causing me it's taking up a bunch of my time. You know, I got a wife, I got 2 kids, I got all of the pressures and stresses of life. Hey, man, look here. I ain't got time to write your book. So basically, y'all, what I told God was, or what I did to God was that I basically gave him the hand.
Daniel, I told you to write my book. Why are you not listening to me?
So I told the Lord again, Lord, look here. I'm sorry, but I am too busy. I don't have time to write your book. So God said, okay, buddy, you don't have time to write my book? I'll fix your wagon. So what did he do? He stopped giving me these poor man's proverbs. Now, when he did that, that kind of startled me because I'm the kind of guy that I like helping people. And putting these poor man's proverbs out there made me feel as if I was actually helping people. So now I wasn't able to do that because he stopped giving it to me. So I realized, I said, all right, Lord, I get it now. I need to go ahead and write your book. So I decided to go ahead and to write the Lord's book. But of course, as I was assembling the book, putting the book together, doubt crept into my head. And as we all know, doubt is basically cancerous to one's faith. So one day I was driving down a deserted road coming home from work and, talking to God. And I said, Lord, I'm not sure that I'm the right guy for this book. I mean, you got me spending my own money, to produce this book, to market the book, so on and so forth. Money that I don't have, mind you. So, how do I even know that this book is going to be successful? How do I even know that anybody is even going to read this book? And then God says to me, I am the one that gave you the contents of the book, aren't I? I said, yes, Lord, you did. Then he says to me, listen, the book will be successful. Now, how you define success and how I define success are not necessarily the same. And when he said that, I promptly shut my mouth, continued to drive, and I realized that I needed to go ahead and write that book and just work and not worry about it. Because basically, he gave me instructions on what to do. I just need to be obedient to his instructions and let him take care of the rest. And oh, by the way, he also told me, Daniel, when you're done with the book, be mindful that any money that this book makes, you are to give it to charity. Give it to charity. I was thinking to myself, man, all this money that I'm getting ready to spend on this book, and you want me to give the money away? That's right. Give it away, he said. But he gave me the option of what charities that I wanted to give the money to. So I chose St. Jude. I chose Shayla's World, which is a local organization that helps people with disabled children. And I chose Howard University, wanted to send money back to my school. And then, of course, I chose my church, Faith Baptist Church. So that's how the book got started. Note to Self went on to be an Amazon bestseller and an award-winning book. And quite frankly, it has helped a lot of people. If you go on and take the time to look at some of the reviews on Amazon, you'll see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I have just been absolutely amazed and pleased with the success of Note to Self. Well, I thought Genesis Cleaning Services and the book Note to Self was the end of the story. No, sir, God was not done. The book gave birth to the Note to Self Guide YouTube channel. Now, you may be wondering, how is that even possible? Well, in part 3 in the Don't Sit on Your Blessing, Won't He Do It series, I will explain exactly how that happened. Until then, you guys stay tuned, be blessed, and remember, don't sit on your blessing.
You heard me. Are you sitting on your blessing, Daniel?